My name is AJ. I am a singer, writer, content creator, and podcaster. I am presenting a research on Nigerian music in global entertainment.
I wanna hold you so tight, coming closer. I wanna be in your light until the night is over,
The creative concept behind this research was inspired during a visit to Hall History Center. Among other historical events and legends documented in the archives there, I was particularly inspired by the works and legacy of English novelist, poet and musician Philip Larkin, who is mostly celebrated for his contributions to literature and music in England. As a Nigerian writer and musician, I was motivated to write about the historical journey of Nigerian music, which is one of the most prominent forms of oral literature in Africa, as well as some influential Nigerian musicians whose contributions have earned Nigerian music a spot on the global stage. This research leverages online publications, interviews, and musical clips, and these are the highlights. Music is a universal language of mankind, and African music, which originates from 54 countries and over 3,000 indigenous tribes in Africa, first started as folklore. Folklore is a form of oral literature that combines traditional narratives, chants, songs, and local instruments to create stories that were shared from generation to generation.
How many butter you go wear? How many bags you go buy? Anything you want, make you tell me. I'm Oladipo, I can be your man.
The style of musical storytelling remained within the continent of Africa until the late 15th century when the slave masters arrived. The music was then exported alongside some captured Africans to different parts of the world where they relied on this music to entertain themselves and sometimes their masters. And that was how the world encountered African music for the first time. In early African literature, music was prominent in plays as writers infused traditional songs into the stories. A typical example would be the Olurumbi song in the play, The Gods Are Not to Blame, by Nigerian writer Olarotimi. I think it sounds like this. Olurumbi jeje omore abumyo Olurumbi janja iroko janja. Musical elements can also be found in other Nigerian plays such as Death and the King's Horseman by Wole Soyinka, Iroko Man and the Woodcarver by Olu Olagoke, amongst others. Today, African music has evolved from folklore to several other popular genres across the continent.
Hey, on va gâter le coin. Allez, Soukouma.
Interestingly, Nigerian music accounts for a majority of the world-famous African music today. The music consists of heavy percussions, local drums, flutes, shakers, and are usually sung in English language, Pidgin English, slangs, and a host of indigenous languages including Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba.
If you say make I stay for love, oh, I go there for love, oh, I go die for you, oh, I'm in the real life, cause you want my love, she no want designer, she no want Ferrari.
Since the earliest recorded Nigerian music was produced in 1928 by August Abuola Brown, thousands of Nigerian music records have been released over the years.
I sing a song, I sing Kalakuta show, Kalakuta show.
Yeah, yeah, you are my African queen. Ooh, Lord, please give me one chance to show.
Step into the future today. There is no better way that life can be so simple.
Man, no fit tire every day. I'm on the road. No limit, yo. No limit, yo. This now so good. Would you turn down for? Would you robo?
The most globally recognized Nigerian musician alive is Burna Boy.
Angelina, you the cool in my temperature. If you call, I go come deliver. I no go fall in your hand never. So now me you could love forever. I'm a cocky no feeble letter. I'm a Angelina, with my Angelina.
Burna Boy officially holds the record as the first Nigerian artist to win a major Grammy award. In 2021, Burna Boy's album Twice as Tall won the Best Global Music Album.
And the Grammy goes to Twice as Tall, Burna Boy, Omo Niger.
This success is a national win, and the question remains, would Burna Boy have been this successful without the influences of some musical legends before him? Let's check out these two Nigerian musicians that have greatly impacted on Burna Boy's musical career. Ever heard of the name Fela Kuti? Well, Fela is to Africans what Elvis Presley is to Americans. Fela's band discovered Afrobeat, which is today the most prominent genre of music in Africa. Burna Boy's maternal grandfather, Benson Idonije, was Fela's manager, while his mother was said to be one of Fela's dancers. The second major influence on Burna Boy is the great King Sunny Ade. King Sunny Ade is a Yoruba Afro-Juju singer. In 1984, he placed Nigerian music on the global stage when his album was nominated at the Grammy Awards for Best Traditional Folk Music. Although Sunny Ade gracefully lost to Elizabeth Colton, his Grammy nomination sets the stage for Burna Boy and other Nigerian musicians who have received Grammy nominations and awards. So far, there has been several incredible collaborations between Nigerian artists and international artists.
Pour out the bottle, I wanna level up. When I'm with you, I never get enough. Slow wine, I'm not in a rush. I can hear music when you're here. You got me like, oh, 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 oh. Shawty gon' give me a oh, 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 oh. As I reach my house, I see me got a small wall.
Tired of getting it wrong. This won't be another heartbreak song. Somebody go find me one day. I don't dare wait, don't stay too far away.
On the global dance scene, Nigerian music is known to evoke happy feet.
Yo, you sweet life, fan down. If I tell you say I love you, you know they for me young girl. Oh, young girl. No, tell me no, oh, 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 oh.
Speeding lórí kẹ̀kẹ́. Mo fẹ́ máa fọ̀bẹ ṣá ẹ̀gẹ́. Ọmọ yapa lóṣogbo. Ọmọ yapa ní gbogbo. Ọmọ túnbe ní gbogbo. Ọmọ tí ń bá sí lòlò. Hello ẹ̀. Hello ẹ̀.
On the movie scene, why do Hollywood producers bother with Nigerian music when making films?
When producers look for cultural elements that resonate greatly with black audiences in different parts of the world, one of the easiest ways to appeal to them is to use music that they're already familiar with, and Nigerian music has always been that. And history tells us that as far back as 1983, the great King Sunny Ade, a juju artist in Nigeria, had his music featured in a Hollywood production called Breathless, and also landed himself a role in the same movie. In 2006, the biggest record on the African continent at the time, unarguably, was African Queen by Two-Face Idibia. And that record got featured in a Hollywood production called Fat Girls. This particular movie extended and expanded Two-Face's, call it sphere of influence in terms of his popularity going beyond the continent of Africa. He landed collaborations from the Caribbean, from other parts of the world. A case in point would be the record he made with Beenie Man, who was arguably the biggest dancehall artist at the time. It was as a result of that feature. In recent times, you've had Yemi Alade feature, and her record featured in an American musical called Black is King, which also featured Beyonce. And of course, most recently, Thames, Burna Boy, and Fireboy were commissioned to make soundtracks to the movie Black Panther, the sequel. So, Nigerian music will become commonplace in mainstream Western movies, even more going into the future, because Afrobeat continues to gain grounds among new audiences around the world.
So far, music is one of Nigeria's proudest exports. According to Statistica.com, in its 2022 second quarter report, the Nigerian arts, entertainment and recreation sector added 1.3 trillion naira, approximately 2.5 billion pounds, to the country's GDP. Commenting on the success of Nigerian music, the Vice President of Nigeria, Yemi Osibanjo, during his speech at the World Tourism Organization Global Conference 2022.
Many of us also know Burna Boy, a Nigerian Afrobeat star. He performed in front of 70,000 people in the Finland's Flow Festival in 2022, singing songs like Last Last. That song is also the first Afrobeat song to have sold over 500,000 units in the first 17 weeks of its release, and is now being certified for gold in the USA.
As a writer who is interested in the commercialization of arts, I am learning from the Nigerian music industry how to create meaningful pieces of literature, both oral and written, that can break the barrier of language and border, as well as projects with market value to generate income. That said, I would be writing a book on Nigerian music and global entertainment with a focus on Nigeria's biggest artist, Burna Boy. As part of my research, I am currently in communication with his mother, who doubles as his manager. Hopefully, when this project is commissioned, I would go on a tour with Burna Boy to experience his life firsthand for a more authentic writing process. This is my research.